What's up, everyone? My name is Rad, and I am here today bringing you my guide on Diona. I'll be going over her talent, skills, constellations, recommended weapons, artifact sets, and team compositions. I'll also give you my overall thoughts on her near the end of the video. I'm going to make all of my character guides as concise as possible, so we're looking at hopefully under 10 minutes for each one, but some might just be a tad bit over that mark. A quick note, these guides are not in depth. I don't go over hypothetical numbers, theories, showcase immensely high damage values, etc. They are more of a quick, generalized, straight to the point recommendations for these characters. The final result is to provide as much information within a condensed time period. Timestamps will be listed down below in the description. Without further ado, let's drop that transition. Per usual, combat talents up first. Elemental skill, Icy Paws shoots Icy Paws that dish out crowd damage to enemies and creates a shield on hit. The shield's damage mitigation scales off of Diona's max HP, and its period of time depends on how many paws hit the target or targets. There are two variations. Press, this one quickly shoots off 2 Icy Paws, duration is 6 seconds, and hold. You dart backwards and then shoot off 5 Icy Paws. The shield generated by the hold version gains a 75% damage mitigation bonus. Also, you are able to mitigate crowd damage 250% more adequately. Upon creating the shield, you will also be inflicted by the crowd status for a short brief moment. Duration is 15 seconds for this variation. Elemental burst, a signature mix, throws out a cold brew that dishes AoE crowd damage and creates a drunken mist. Within this mist, the following occurs. It will simultaneously constantly dish out crowd damage within the AoE field and as well heal party members within it. Lasts for 12 seconds, has a cooldown of 20, and energy cost overall is 80. Passive talents, Cat's secret menu. Party members protected by the shield have their movement speed increased by 10% and their stamina consumption decreased by 10%. Drunkard's farce. Enemies within the AoE of her elemental burst have their attack reduced by 10% for 15 seconds. Complimentary bar food, self-explanatory. Constellations. As always, constellations are not an absolute necessity for characters. They mainly just provide quality of life improvements and better enhanced skills, burst utility. Yes, some do get wild power spikes, I understand, but every character is viable in some way or form even with no constellations. Diona at base I think is very good, but with constellations it definitely ups her potency. I'll be skipping her C3 and C5 as they only provide 3 levels to her skills. C1, a lingering favor. Once her elemental burst ends, it'll regenerate 15 energy for her. C2, shaken not purred. Boost Icy Paws damage by 15% and also boost her shield's damage mitigation by another 15%. Also generates a shield based off 50% Icy Paws damage for 5 seconds for others nearby and co-op. If you're going for constellations, I recommend stopping here. With C1, that extra energy helps her get her burst up much easier, and with C2, it just provides more tankiness to the shield created. C4, Wine Industry Slayer. Within the AoE of her elemental burst, her charge time is decreased by 60% for her aim shots. And C6, Cat's Tail Closing Time. Within the AoE of her elemental burst, the following now occurs. Boosts healing bonus by 30% when a character's HP is equal to or under 50%. When a character's HP is above 50%, their elemental mastery is boosted by 200. Even though this constellation is wonderful, just because of the EM boost alone, I don't recommend going all out and spending your primos for it. Weapons. In terms of weapons, it's a relatively short list, I'd say. Of course, if you don't have any of the aforementioned recommended, just use what you have best readily available. For a 5-star, the only one I personally recommend is Elegy for the End. Provides great energy recharge, and its passive provides extra elemental mastery and attack bonuses for her and other units within the party. For 4 stars, the ones I recommend are Favonius Warbow, provides insane energy recharge, and its passive has a chance to provide an elemental orb upon a crit hit. This will regenerate 6 energy for the respective party member. This is my personal favorite one to use on Diona, but others may vary. And the next one up is a Sacrificial Bow, provides good energy recharge, and its passive makes it so that once an enemy is struck by an elemental skill, it has the chance to reset its own cooldown. Very, very good. Also, quick shout out to the 3-star Recurve Bow. This provides very good HP bonus, which increases the strength of her shield. Honestly, I believe these are her best to recommend, but like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have any of them, then just use what you got. Artifact sets. Best 4-piece artifact set for Diona, coming in surprisingly, is, in my opinion, Noblesse Oblige. It'll increase her elemental burst damage by 20%, but mainly it's a about also the 20% attack boost it provides for 12 seconds to other squad members upon using her elemental burst. There's also 4-piece Maiden Beloved. It increases healing effectiveness by 15% and healing received by 20% for 10 seconds upon using either elemental skill or burst. But I only recommend this if you don't have a 4-piece Noblesse Oblige readily available. Big shout out as well to, oh boy, there's another throwback artifact here. 4-piece Constructor. It'll increase her elemental mastery by 80, but also upon causing an elemental reaction, it'll boost all party members' elemental mastery by 120 for 8 seconds. Really underrated artifact set, I'd say. If you want some more flexibility and easier mix and matching and not worrying about getting a 4-piece set overall, then what I would recommend is a 2-piece Tenacity of Millilith with either 2-piece of Emblem of Severed Fate or Maiden Beloved. You'll gain 20% HP from Tenacity of Millilith while either gaining 15% energy recharge from Emblem or 15% healing effectiveness from Maiden Beloved. Recommended main affixes to look for, in my opinion, are energy recharge on the Sands of Time, HP percentage on the Goblet of Eonothlum, and healing bonus on the Circle of Logos. Minor affixes, I'd say, are energy recharge and HP percentage. Unless you are a unique individual and decide to use Diona as a DPS, you do not need to worry about having a 1 to 2 crit damage ratio for her in general. Team compositions, albeit short list as well, but here are my recommended. For melts, any combination of 2 cryo users and 1 pyro, 4th slot can be your choosing. This mainly sets up your pyro DPS to create the melt reactions for maximum damage. Permafrost, any combination of 2 cryo users including Diona and 1 hydro unit, 4th slot can be your choosing. This provides great crowd control. And Rainbow, essentially just any 4 units with different elemental specifications. Final thoughts. Diona is by far one of my all-time favorites in Genshin Impact. Since her release, it feels like she's always been in one of my teams, even though she is absolutely adorable, which is why I'm very partial to her. She is an incredible support and provides great utility to a team. If you do summon and receive a Diona, I highly, highly, highly recommend to level her up and add her to one of your teams. Diona wrapped and done. This one is definitely my shortest of all my guides so far, but Diona isn't as in-depth or complicated to build, I'd say. Not sure who is next, we'll have to wait and see. As always, many thanks to those who watch this throughout. If you enjoyed or disliked today's video, you can either drop me a like or a dislike. I'm always open to constructive criticism. Also, if you like, press that subscribe button to keep up to date with future content. Would appreciate that. Anywho, I'm Rad. You're all awesome. See you later.